Can you talk a little bit about the effects of sugar?
Well, sugar is
It's a drug.
It's a drug.
Yes.
It's like cocaine. It spikes you up and puts you down. It spikes you up and puts you down. And cancer loves sugar. Loves sugar. And I mean, diabetes is running rampant. Obesity, being overweight. I mean, it's all from sugar. We're addicted. We are so addicted to some form of a high. And that's because we haven't checked in. A lot of us haven't checked in. And I was very fortunate. I got cancer when I was 25. And when I got cancer back in those days, I didn't know anybody that had cancer.
What kind of cancer?
I call it a health opportunity.
Okay, yes,
because
right.
I don't even want to put a label on what I had, because the subconscious, as you know, doesn't know a truth from a lie. So everything that I say goes into my body as if it were a truth. So in fact, clients that come to me, when they say, I have this, I have that, I go, no, you have a health opportunity. That's one of the things that we learned together down at Optimum Health Institute. Yes. But when I had it, I decided I'd rather die than be cut up. And I guess the death sentence that I gave myself became my life sentence. And it put me on the most incredible journey of spirituality. I remember I was friends with, my good friend was Susan Strasberg. And Susan was way ahead of her time. She was reading these books called The Seth Material. The Abraham tapes are real popular now. It's the same type of thing, was the Seth Speaks and the Seth Material. And so she got me into this metaphysical world. And she was friendly with Jess Stern. And Jess Stern wrote some of the books on Edgar Cayce. I didn't know what they were talking about. I mean, we're going back a long time. Yes. And
Edgar Cayce's material is so rich still today.
Absolutely. Yes. And there are no accidents. And I ran into a woman who had terminal cancer, who they opened and closed and gave her 6 months to live. And I didn't tell anybody, because back in those days, I felt like I had leprosy. I went into shame and guilt. So I was an actress at the time. And
oh, that's just, tenfold.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and she told me about this dentist in Grapevine, Texas, who was curing cancer through nutrition. And I remember my eyes rolling up. I went, right, the medical profession doesn't have an answer, but some dentist in Texas is curing cancer. And she said, what do you have to lose? And I've always been an instinctual person. I've always trusted my gut. And something told me, go see him. And I'll never forget, it was November 22nd. I flew into Dallas, and it was years after Kennedy was assassinated, but, so I was reflecting on that, because I had a connection with Kennedy. My father was in politics, and he was kind of a friend of his, and my father was a delegate to the Democratic National Convention and nominated Kennedy, so I had lunch with Kennedy, and so I had some connection, and they were doing this parade, and I remember getting into a cab and saying, take me to Grapevine, and the cab driver says to me, well, nobody goes to Grapevine. I went, oh, great. And so he drove me to Grapevine, and Dr. Kelly's office was next door to a funeral parlor. And I remember looking, and I'm thinking, door number 1 doesn't work. I don't have far to go to door number 2. And I was really sick.